Hi, I'm Kevin Kennedy along with Miss Sarah Sumter today, and we're glad to bring you some ideas, conversations with Kevin. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm happy
good.
to be here.
So what you got on your mind tonight?
Well, I was thinking we should talk about some success. I think all these folks at home are just dying to know how you got where you are and what is the secret.
Oh, Sarah, you know, a few years ago, I was doing a article and they interviewed me with the American Journal of Trial Advocacy. Everybody wants to know, how did you win this and how did you do this? What are the secrets you hit? And the truth is, it's really no secret. It is no secret. That's a famous song because all the principles are dealing with biblical principles. You know, there's a such thing as hard work. Anytime that we ever say anything that goes against the Bible, then we're off. Anytime that we're exactly in tune with the Bible, then we're on. And so there's a lot of good principles out of that. You know, when I think about some of the things that I apply, I think about enthusiasm. And they say, well, you're just an enthusiastic person. Quite frankly, Sarah, I see your enthusiasm go up. What do you attribute your enthusiasm
Just
going
being around positive people.
Yeah. And what I've tried to do over the years, I think, Sarah, is create an environment of positive people and create an environment where enthusiasm is not pushed down, but it is pushed up.
Yes.
And it's been said, you can never do anything great in life without enthusiasm.
Wow.
So what does that mean? That means if we're fighting a war, we got to have some enthusiasm. That means if we're in a ball game, you got to have some enthusiasm. And in a family, you know, it's always been said, a family that stays together prays together.
Wow.
I think that is so true too. And so again, we have to have some enthusiasm in all of our relationships, whether you have business relationships, professional relationships. That's like a lawyer-client. We want to have friends.
Yes. What about a positive mental attitude? What does that mean to you and how does it correlate with your success?
Positive mental attitude. You know, you and I have been together when we were dealing with some of those really high sophisticated clients and some very prominent and successful businessmen.
Yes.
And one thing, when I walked away from those people in the entertainment industry and in the business world, the super achievers, wow, they all have a positive mental attitude.
Wow.
And I really believe this too, Sarah. If you are around positive people, the ideas, the energy. I've heard it said that, you know, in every atom there's a negative and a positive. Go back to the battery. There's a negative and a positive. There inside of Sarah Sumter, there's a negative and there's a positive. Inside Kevin Kennedy. So I've spent my life trying to bring out the positive.
Yes.
And we feed off that with one another. That's why you're always a great team member, and try to encourage the people that we deal with. You know, at the Kennedy Law Firm, we see horrendous circumstances.
Absolutely.
Is it true?
All the time.
Every day.
Every day. We saw a terrible situation this afternoon.
Yeah, and that was where someone was killed in a motorcycle accident.
And his wife came in to speak with us about it.
You know, Sarah, life is fragile. That's why we want to make the most of what time we have. And you said, well, how can you be positive when you've got such depressing circumstances? Well, the truth is, everybody's going to have problems.
Yes.
But it's how do we respond? Now, I can react and throw a fit, and you can throw a fit. And you know how long you would last around me if you were throwing fits all the time? How long would you last?
Not too long.
Not too long, because I can't bring it down. And if I was throwing a fit all the time, you do this, you do that, I can't believe complaining, you would say, hey,
Kevin,
can I work on the farm? And I'd say, okay, Sarah. But everything that we do, we attack it with a positive mental attitude. Quite frankly, I teach this lesson. It's been said you can never think creatively when you're agitated.
Yes.
So does everybody get agitated? Absolutely. Does somebody hurt your feelings? Yeah. You and I talk about hurting people's feelings and having people hurt our feelings. I said, man, y'all are tough. Y'all are professionals. People can still hurt your feelings.
Yes.
So I'll tell you a little bit of good advice is when clients and their lawyers have chemistry one with another. When the support staff,
absolutely,
the secretaries, the paralegals, the runners, when we all have the same chemistry of trying to help.
Yes.
And quite frankly, Sarah, this pandemic has brought a new need like we've never
Absolutely,
seen
yes.
before. And I know, I'll compliment you tonight. You are really one of the most caring people. You're given an opportunity, but you seized it. And I've heard it in your voice. I've seen it with other people when you go both to court and in the office, that you really do put out this vibe that you care.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. You've cried over people that we've seen.
Yes.
And you've seen me cry over.
Yes.
And I don't really know that I'm ashamed of that.
No.
It just, you show me a person that they don't really understand
Yes.
the depths of pain that people feel.
Yes.
It's been said before, Sarah, that at the law office, sometimes the waiting room looks like an emergency room. I've had people come out and say, man, that office is so packed in there. And I feel that. And so we're crunched in time. And they say, you know, you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Some days we are, because we're trying to help this one, this
Yes.
one, this one. And you know, when do they need help, Sarah?
Right now, and that's why in a way our law office is an emergency room, because when people come in, it really is an emergency for some of those people, you know.
Yeah.
And we're always there to help.
So when you look back at the positive attitude, what do you think we've done that tries to create a positive atmosphere?
Well, something that I tell myself when I'm feeling unmotivated or I don't want to do something, it's I don't have to go to work today. I get to go to work today.
Good.
I don't have to work out today. I get to work out today. I don't have to study. I get to study.
Yeah.
So that's something that, you know, I have a lot more opportunities than other people have. And when you put it in that kind of perspective, it makes you really appreciate the things that you have and gives you a little bit of ambition to get up.
Well said. Now, you couldn't have talked like that a few years ago, but, you know, being around and those things do motivate us. Mm-hmm. They do enhance us. The question gets back, are you stronger because of that attitude? And
Absolutely.
I'm saying absolutely. Can we create it? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We call it the elevator technique, that I can come in and bring Sarah up and then turn her loose on the clients. Or I can come in and bring Sarah down,
Mm-hmm.
the elevator technique. And quite frankly, the same is true for us. That's a point I'd love to share with you. If you have a law, build them up. One of the greatest things that costs you nothing, Sarah, it costs you nothing, but it pays big dividends. And you know what that is?
Compliment.
Praise. She's good. You've gone through the school.
Uh-huh.
So I can praise the people around us, and you'll get more out of them than you ever will.
Absolutely.
Do you believe it?
Absolutely. I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, you're also with me when we're out doing projects, when we have real estate houses and we've got crews of men. And do you think that philosophy of success
yes.
works on those men?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And do the men always do what I've instructed?
Not always, no.
And
Some
so-
of them are a little bit hard-headed.
Yeah, and so when we go to the farm and we have the people helping us out there on the farm, likewise, have you seen people not do what I've asked them?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
What
and
about me? Sometimes you do things.
That's true. But you know, the truth is when we really care, and we have the same agenda, we want to help
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And we want to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's that old saying, we're in it to win it. Mm-hmm. Well, hello, come in. That's
Yes.
a true story.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do like that. So, Miss Sarah, besides creating a positive mental attitude, besides enthusiasm, one of the keys is a definite purpose. You've heard me say over the years, the advancement of the cause of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're a paralegal and a legal assistant. Quite frankly, me and you, there's nobody your age that's seen as many trials. There's nobody your age that's been as many depositions. And you've seen the heat about it. What do you think you've learned by watching all those fierce fights? What do you think you've learned from watching that?
Confidence goes a long way.
Confidence. Well said. Mm-hmm. And you've heard me say, well, Benjamin Franklin, one of my great heroes in history, he said a lean compromise is better than a fat lawsuit. Now, I want to explain that to you just for a minute. You know what he means, Sarah? He means that when two reasonable people come to the table, this is our case, this is the strengths, this is the weaknesses, that we can look and we can evaluate and we can make a decision what would be fair. We also know if the other side's not fair, we're going to court because the courthouse doors is the avenue of opportunity.
Yes.
And if we go in and we say, oh, brother, that we can't win this motion, you know, we can't win that, golly, half the battle is already
Yes.
taking
Yes.
you. Yes.
Yes. Well, it could be the avenue or the doors to success or the doors to the
Failure.
failure.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I know.
That's why lean compromise is better than a fat
Yeah,
lawsuit.
you know, one of those great men said also, he made the statement, he said, the victory doesn't always go to the faster or stronger man, but sooner or later, it's going to go to the man who thinks he can.
Wow.
And that's where we come back with your idea of confidence and confidence building. You know, there's another technique that I try to teach people. I like to read success books. I like to listen to people who teach success and teach motivation. And then I've applied it to my real estate business, my horse business, my TV business, and of course the law business.
Yes.
But we've enjoyed all of those things because I like to see people and help people. And every one of them, is there challenges? Tell me.
Oh, there's challenges with everything.
Is there problems?
Problems all day, every day.
Any kind of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so she's a great student. She's seen that. You know, one of my most impressive clients, he told me, he said, Kevin, I don't see problems. I just see challenges. And
A
I
great
said,
way to put it.
well, hello, come in. And when you sit in that big chair, man, here comes the problems. And that's why there's safety in numbers. The Bible talks about the wise seek the counsel of others. And that's why you and I talk about problems. Then we go in and talk to another person. One of the techniques that I've learned that helps you realize, if we can discuss it with people that we trust, guess what? Your mind is open. There's already the ideas. I've told people about encouragement. You know, God's already put in you everything that you'll ever need to take on the task He's called you to do. Now, sometimes I can help bring that out. That's what's called encouragement.
Yes.
And does it take courage to go forward?
Absolutely.
We both agree. And some days you're gripped with fear, but greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. Why did you say that, Kevin? We go back to the Bible. And if you'll stand on those things, there's really no mountain that you can't overtake.
Amen.
And I still believe that. And you can't win every court battle, but you can be prepared to go do the best you can.
Absolutely.
And then some days, you know, you're saying, wow, how did this happen? Both ways.
Yes.
You see, wow, how did this happen? I like to think about creativity.
Yes.
So, you know, you helped me put together a little sign not too long ago. And I said, okay, do it. You said, well, what? I said, just do it. And so when I came back in, wow, it was sparkling. It was.
I had to bring out the bling for old Kevin.
Yeah, you did. And it was really impressive. But it fulfills that principle of having a creative, proactive approach.
Yes.
Now, you didn't have an example. You drew on your past experiences. You had the resources to get it done, and then it took you with the right mental attitude. If you said, man, I'm not going to do this is not going to work, this looks bad, no telling how. And we were really in a time crunch,
Yes.
but you delivered. So those are simple things, but they do make a big difference.
Yes.
When I think about these lawsuits, and I think about car wrecks and tractor-trailer accidents, I think about motorcycle accidents, you know, I tell a lot of people, let's get our big poster board. I use it in all kinds of trials. We call that demonstrative evidence. What is demonstrative? It's simply a derivative of I'm demonstrating. I say, okay, Sarah, take that over there. And then I'll ask the client, can you take us through, can you visually show us how this accident happened? And you know, we talk about insurance companies. If there's a real bad accident, they're going to hire accident reconstructionists. And they're going to go out there and they're going to measure the black mark. They're going to measure from the impact to where the vehicle's. They're going to photograph, analyze, and then they're going to put together a report. That's their opinion.
Yes.
So, you know, our team has to put our opinion together. So that means that we can do our own estimations. We can hire our own experts, and it will make a difference when it's all said and done. But there's nothing like an eyewitness approach. And so we can bring you in. If your credibility is good, state your name, who you are, where do you work, And that's when your life is an open book, Sarah. So, well, yeah, I remember her. She was a very nice person. She worked here. She went to church here. She was in this civic club. And then your life's an open book. One of the crazy things about living in Clarksville or Tennessee or America, at any given time, our lives can be changed. How fast,
Just
Sarah?
like that.
No doubt?
No doubt.
And we see people that have been involved in car wrecks. You could leave here. You know, there is no such thing as immunity from trouble.
Absolutely.
If you drive a car, your kid drives a car, your wife drives, your brother, your cousin, and an accident happens, someone's killed, you know, that's called vehicular homicide. And again, you can say, well, I didn't mean to do that. Well, guess what? You are looking for those steps to success. And when are you looking for them, Sarah?
Right now.
So what's your advice if you had a car wreck and it's real serious?
Seek a lawyer immediately.
Okay, so we had the wreck tonight. So what are you going to do?
Call the lawyer first thing when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing.
Yeah.
Don't wait till it's bad and you're being sued by the other insurance company.
Okay.
Do it now.
Man, Sarah, you're getting more like a lawyer all the time.
Been trained well.
I'm impressed. So really what Sarah was alluding to, you know, you can be in a car wreck and you say, hey, well, the police officer said this, and most of the time they won't ever say whose fault it really is. They might issue a ticket. What does that really mean? Well, they can cite them. That's not totally determinative. What does that mean? It means the other side can turn around and say, guess what? You were wrong. Well, how do they do that in a rear ender? They do all kinds. Do insurance companies deny liability?
Anytime they get the opportunity to.
Yeah. And so another real neat trick that you're involved in a car wreck, and if it's real serious, the insurance company knows it's real serious. How fast are they going to act?
Right away.
And they'll call you on the phone and say, hey, you don't care if we take a little recorded statement, do you? You know, this is for purposes that we might use in training. And so do alarms go off to you?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, these are highly trained individuals with an agenda to protect the insurance company. So the purpose of the conversation with Kevin is to try to teach everybody some of these things so you can be sensitive to. And if you learn something from Sarah and I tonight, take it and talk to your children. You know, both my sons are doctors, and when we have a little get together, you know what I'm doing? Training. Training. My daughter has a master's degree. You know, when we're all get together, I'm training. When you're with me all the time, I said, now, Sarah, take note. Remember this. And because I don't want it to happen in your family, and you want to protect your mom, your dad, your brother, and we want to protect ours. So some of these techniques are extremely, extremely valuable. One more I liked is called the mirror technique. And they said Phyllis Diller did. I didn't create these. I've studied all these people.
Right.
How did Phyllis Diller? She was actually just a janitor at one time. Then she got worldwide fame. I still say famous fortune. Show me somebody famous, those people can raise some money. They want to write a book, do a movie. Come on. And so she went from janitor to TV personality, and the sky's the limit. And she would call and use the mirror technique. They say Liberace also used the mirror technique. And Liberace, the most famous pianist in the 20th century. And both of them came out of poverty. So you said, well, I'm broke. Well, hello, come in. There's a lot of people that were born broke. Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest known fighters in the world, was born into poverty. But it's not where you start.
It's where you finish.
Say it again.
It's where you finish.
That's right. And we're on a journey together. And so we really appreciate y'all listening, and we want to try to teach you. Let's go back to the mirror technique real quick, Sarah. So you go to the mirror and you look the mirror right in your eyes. They say the eyes are the window to your soul. What does that mean? That you speak positive words, that you are a hardworking, optimistic, loyal, committed person, and that you're going to fulfill what you're called to do. That you're truthful and you're thrifty and you're always responsible. You're speaking those words into your life, and there's power. We've seen people, you can look at them and say, hello, come in. Those people are put together.
Yes.
I've also heard them say they were so scared when they hit the courtroom. Have you seen them trembling?
Oh, yes. I see it every day.
Yeah. And they'll take that witness stand and they stutter and They're confused.
Nervous.
Is it?
Oh, yes, it's the real world.
So that mirror technique, that you are speaking the truth and you are, the Bible also says, the righteous will stand bold as lions. What does that mean, Kevin? What that means is when you're right, you're right. Somebody can say, well, you told a lie, Sarah. And you say, no, I didn't. I told you the truth. And that boldness comes from where does it come from? It's inside you. And everybody knows it. Every juror person, every judge, and guess what? Even the lawyers, they're skilled. But when a person speaks with confidence and tells the truth, as Abraham Lincoln said, there's no man with a good enough memory to tell the lie over and over, because you're going to add a little or you're going to subtract.
Yes.
In trial, we have what's known as cross-examination. And why do we have cross? Because they also say, again, psychologists, you can never say a lie the same way every time.
Wow.
And we as lawyers, one of my favorite things to do in trial, we were in a trial yesterday, and when you're really honing in, when you're really bearing down and you're making a point, the other lawyer will object. I'll even object sometimes when it's too hot. We've got to break that momentum. And we'll object and say they're leading, or we'll object and say that's irrelevant.
That's hearsay.
That's hearsay. You've been in there. And, in ball, they do the same thing. Those guys got to run. They're calling time out. So what you're really doing is breaking that momentum, and you come back, but you can't shake somebody that is telling the gospel truth.
You're right.
You can't. They're unmovable. And, I always say this. You show me a family that has a commitment to one another, I'll show you a bunch that's hard to beat.
Yes.
You can bring the best lawyers, and a dad that will not yield. That's my son. You show me a mother that will run away from their child. They won't do it. And when the others see the confidence and the boldness in which they speak, they don't want to take them on. They'll want to go somewhere else. In the horse business, coyotes do come around. And you know why they come? They seek out the weak. And you take a little baby goat, if he's making noise, those coyotes can hear it forever. And when they come, the mother can't even fight them off.
Right.
It's just part of nature. But I've spent my life looking, studying, watching the strong, watching the weak. And how do we deal with those? Through preparation, and these things, the techniques and the stories of success that apply in every kind of principle, from education to the sports arena to the courtroom. 3 places where ideas are still good, Sarah: the courthouse, the schoolhouse, and the church house.
Yes.
And our community is better because of it, and I love it. Every day, goals. We've talked about those goals.
Several times.
What does it mean to you when we talk about we got to have some goals?
It means you got to always be ready to better yourself. This is where you are, where do you want to be, how do we get there, and what are the steps? Okay. And when I saw Zig Ziglar, he was one of my heroes. He changed my life. I hope that some of these ideas and techniques we share through this can help change your life, help you sleep a little better, divert some grief and anguish from your family. And so when I met Zig, he gave a statement. He said, Kevin, through this seminar, and I went to see him many times, he said, that's why I'm glad to share. Zig's already gone on to be with the Lord. He loved the Lord, and he was bold in his testimony, but he was a winner, and he talked with winners. And he said, I'm going to take ordinary people, and I'm going to get extraordinary results. One of the fascinating stories I like to share, we were at a Born to Win seminar in Orlando, and it was a very exclusive seminar, Sarah. I wish you could see. Had life to do again, I would see that you got to see that. I'd have my children, all of them, but here's how it went. So they broke us all up in groups, and at my table, they said, we were going to want you to draw a poster board, and y'all tell us how we get from nowhere to success. Okay, he's teaching, I'm learning. As soon as he said go, I took off. I jumped up and I said, okay, guys, which one of y'all can draw? I can. Okay, what's the first step? And they said, well, creative brainstorming, and we did that. And then let's gather resources, and they did that. And these guys are all sitting around going.
And Rhonda was with me at that same seminar. And I looked over and she jumped up. They didn't have us at our table. So she's up and we're going and we get finished. We're the first table finished. It's about 30 tables.
Wow.
But here's what's interesting, Sarah, one of the great stories of my life. So when we get finished, we're first one finished. I wanted to go on and say, hey guys, what do y'all do for a living? This guy over here said, well, I'm the chairman of the history department at Harvard.
Wow.
I said, hello, come in. I said, what do you do? He said, I'm the CEO of Caterpillar. Wow, that's worldwide, big bulldozers. And the other one, I said, what? He said, I'm president of the Xerox Corporation. And y'all want to know what I wanted to say? My next question was, how much money do you fellas make? How bad did I want to ask
Real
it?
bad.
So when we get there, Harvard over there says, now, Mr. Kennedy, I didn't have that I was a lawyer or anything, but they knew I was aggressive. And he said, when we win, you do the talking. I said, okay, fellas, I'll do the talking. And I was still shocked at the powerful, these men control thousands, tens of thousands of people.
Yes.
They are powerful men. And I was honored to be with them. But I also saw me take command and roll with that opportunity. Well, when they announced the winners, are you ready, Sarah?
Rhonda beat you.
Yeah, Rhonda's team won. And Harvard was sitting there with me. He said, Mr. Kennedy, isn't that your wife? And I said, yeah. He said, well, how do you explain how she beat you? I said, she's what?
Been trained by the best.
Been trained by. One of the greatest things a teacher can ever do is have their students break their records. I love it. I love it. And we've got many lawyers that came through our internship program. And they said, well, Kevin, are you just? No, I'm proud. Those young people came through. I'm proud of what you're going to do in your life, where you're going to go, and the people you're going to help. We're sowing seeds, just like the Bible says. Are you sowing seed? Seed time, then comes the harvest.
Yes.
And I remember the medical doctors that came through in my internship program. I hope that I pushed them and taught them some of these things along the way, that they'll most importantly be inspired to help others.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It almost chokes me up when I think about the power that those people have. One's a circuit court judge and several doctors out of the group, many lawyers, and then they've gone on to do so many things. And I just say thank you, God, for the opportunity and praise Him.
Yes.
What else you want to say about success, Sarah?
I say, what about productivity?
You need to work on your productivity.
Yeah, I think you do too.
Yeah, you need to work on. Some days, when we had an all-day trial yesterday, so your productivity, when you finish with an all-day trial, a great lawyer told me one time, he said, every lawyer only has so much in them, and a jury trial takes a little bit out every time you take. And I submit to you, any kind of intense trial, when the odds are big, fighting for children, fighting over property, because we have people's lives
in our hands.
Say it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, where does the time
go?
I'll
say it.
I love when you invite me to come and do these shows with you. I always leave this set so replenished, so excited, and so focused to hit my new goals. These shows are always so encouraging for me, and I know they're encouraging for the people at home too. And I just want to say thank you for always having me and sharing all these great ideas that you have. And I am so lucky to be a part of this and to have this job and to get to hear all these secrets firsthand. So thank you.
Well, you're sweet, Sarah. The truth is, I hope some of these stories and principles can really help a lot of people.
Yes.
It's one of the things that bothers me is that we have answers and we want to share it. So if you know how to fix the car, man, I'd love to tell you how to fix the car. If you knew how to fix this, so these success principles, we've had quite a bit of experience in those arenas. So quite frankly, I want to share it. I love to share it. And I'm glad somebody's here wants to listen. There's nothing, you don't want to waste your breath. We don't have so much breath. We don't have so much time. So I want my life to count for others. And who knows where all your future's ahead of you, the things that you take, I challenge you. You get out there and do it and do your best, and you'll make a difference for a whole bunch of people. I'm glad that we got to do this show. Kevin Kennedy, Miss Sarah Sumter. Conversations with Kevin. God bless you.
And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.